today we're going to talk about the nuclear reactor. Now, for years I wondered about why in the world martial artists and different traditions always talked about your Dan Tien as being your center of power. Like, it always felt like up here is where things actually happen, but eventually, like after years, I kind of got it, right? It's not just your center of balance, right? Because when you just learn to stand and you get balanced standing on your feet, you're thinking of your whole body being balanced between your feet. And then you learn how to balance as you rotate, and you got this vertical line, this vertical axis that you rotate around. But you know you might be able to bend over, move around. So this center axis actually becomes a center point, a small, very small point that is the interaction, the intersection of your left and right, your forward and back, your up and down, your three axis of dimension. There's that point that all of them cross at, and that's your center of balance. If you move that point, then everything about you moves too. So there's this, so that kind of, oh, okay, I get it. So your legs, your bottom, your top, they kind of meet there in the middle, and that's where and why you move your center. So if you move your center, everything else moves. You don't move everything and then move your center, right? So you learn to kind of unify that. Well, there's a really cool science demonstration on the conservation of momentum where a person will sit on a stool that has a top that can rotate on a horizontal plane. So it goes this way. Then they sit down and they've got a bicycle wheel in front of them on an axle. So they hold on to either side of the axle and then the wheel starts spinning. So there's a lot of momentum. It's going very fast so it's got its momentum, and then you take it off axis just a little bit and imparting extra energy into the turning because it has a like a gyroscope wants to stay upright. The wheel wants to stay where it is. So when you impart energy into the system to change its orientation, it has to conserve the momentum. So that extra oomph that you use to turn it will actually start spinning you around on the stool. So I will have found a clip and then drop this over the video so you can see it in action of what exactly it is that I'm talking about. So it's this angular momentum and conserving of that momentum that really just kind of broke my brain a while ago, because there's a really cool demonstration of how that happens at your center. So that's why I talk about it being like the nuclear reactor for all of your movement, and also your nuclear reactor for dispersing movement and momentum that's interacting with your structure. And for that, I like to use this thing. I love just handing this to people. Students go, here, figure this out. What is this? So they go, okay, is it a massager? Is it an ab roller? Can I step on it? It doesn't really do much. I don't know. What is it? Well, it's a grip strength trainer, which is really cool. At first, it's just super baffling. It makes no sense. But we've got this kind of blue housing here. I'm going to try to hide my face so it will focus on this instead. So, oh, there we go. So it's got this blue housing and this black rubber grip. And here is a flywheel. It's a yellow wheel, so you can see it spin. So it rotates along its axle that is going this way. So it rotates around the axle that's this way. And also the axle will spin inside of this blue housing. So it will spin and rotate at the same time, which is really neat because this weighs about 9 ounces. It's a little over half a pound. And it can generate up to about 20 to 40 pounds of resistance for your wrist. And it does it through the conservation of momentum. So you spin it like this, and it's a little knacky to get going. Oh, Almost had it. There we go. So you can hear it going, and think of it like a plate with a marble on it. And here you can see that line is rotating around. And as it spins and rotates, I'm imparting energy into its system. And you can hear it starting to wind up. Now, as it winds up, the RPMs are increasing more and more, so it's going faster. So it's increasing its momentum, which requires more energy to affect its momentum. So it's my energy being imparted into its closed system, and then you can really wind it up. And it becomes really difficult to move, and you can't tell it because you can't feel it yourself, but there's a lot of force that I'm imparting on this little thing to get it to move. So my muscles are getting a crazy workout as well. So just like a gyroscope, it wants to stay where it is, but moving it out of alignment, it can go back and forth, clockwise, counterclockwise, right? There we go. So yeah, it's by trying to pull it offline that makes it spin and rotate faster, and by doing it faster and faster, it takes more and more of my energy or oomph to get it to move. So that's why something that is about 9 ounces can feel like it's 20 to 30, 40 pounds worth of resistance to any change in its orientation. And that's what really blew my mind is, imagine you've got one of these right in your Dan Tien, just below your navel, at your center of all 3 dimensions where they intersect. You got one of these things, and it's just always there, and it's going at a very high RPMs, but it's kind of like it's disengaged. You don't have it engaged with the transmission. It's just kind of spinning there, right? And the idea is that you have this thing going all the time. And when you want to move, you engage this thing that's spinning really fast. And it's not doing anything yet, but the instant you try to grab it, it would pull you off balance too, right? So all you got to do is tap into that energy by relaxing and engaging your whole body as one unit. And then you engage the high RPM processional momentum conservation device, right? The nuclear reactor. This is where your energy comes from. So you allow this to engage your whole body, and then your whole body moves all at once. Consequently, if somebody were trying to impart momentum to you, you use your body and your structure in proper alignment to connect it to this little thing, and their momentum just makes it go spin faster. So you can absorb a lot of outside momentum if you know how to store it into a processional momentum conservation device like this. So that's why when somebody's straight line force is coming at you, you can turn it offline, you can rotate it, you can do multi-dimensional rotational movements, and that straight line energy gets dispersed. So it's not that it just goes away into the universe nowhere, but it's just getting turned offline and connected to your center of energy, right? Because there are a lot of traditions and a lot of strategies that people have figured out over the years to deal with somebody else's momentum, and also how to generate your own momentum. So this isn't to say that it's the only way you can do it, but to me it's a really cool way to do it, because most people just kind of swing their arms and that's how they try to hit, which is not an efficient use of their mass and acceleration, velocity and momentum, all that kind of good stuff. But then you go, all right, so I need perfect structure, I need proper alignment. So it's all about structure. Well, if you're balanced on your feet, you now have to balance your structure onto one leg to free up your structure to be able to kick out and get momentum going that way. So that's still kind of a clunky way of dealing with momentum. Likewise, if you are rooted into the earth and you're immovable and somebody else's force comes in at you, you send it down to the ground, and then the rebounding energy of for every force, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? Every action and reaction. So you allow it to go down to the ground and bounce up and then back out. That's a long pathway for it to take. But if you can tap in straight away to something like this, that's already at your core, it doesn't matter how heavy or light you feel on the ground. You can just be where you are, relaxed, balanced, and you move this point. You allow that point to turn your whole body. You allow that whole point to move it forward. You allow that point to turn somebody offline. So you can do that whether or not you're rooted, you're light, you're at rest, you're moving. It doesn't matter, because it's all a degree to which you're allowing your transmission to engage or disengage this thing for outputting momentum or inputting momentum, which makes you feel like you're rooted, but you're still highly mobile. So this is a really weird idea that I take this on the road with me. So anytime I'm driving for a long time, I just my forearms get tired from holding the wheel forever. So then I use this as kind of a workout, and it's not been that long that I realized, oh, this is kind of what the Dan Tien and the source of all your energy there at the core really is. So I don't know if I've explained it clearly or if I've just made you more confused than when I started. But if you ever try this out, like, go get one from Amazon. There will be a link down there. It'll probably be an affiliate link, so that way I'll get 10% of whatever it is that you buy. So awesome. But get one of these, try it out, and you'll feel just how much resistance something so small can generate. And you'll start to understand why somebody that's smaller, lighter, and slower than the other person might be able to generate a lot of force and deal with momentum forces that other people wouldn't be able to, because they know how to disperse the energy by putting it into something like this, and also generating a lot of momentum by releasing a lot of energy from an intellectual device like this, if you think about it at your core. So let me know if I explained it even halfway decently, or if you're super confused. I can try to address any questions, but to me, this is a really cool idea that has unlocked some really neat applications. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please put them under this video wherever you are, and I can't wait to hear from you.